Right. Hello and welcome to December 4th book club. I missed y'all last week. So last week we ended at the end of section 1, which had 4 different kinds of magnetizing exercises. And I sent those via audio in the group chat. Did anybody have a chance to practice any of those? It's okay if you didn't, because I know I sent them like less than 48 hours ago. Bridget, you did? Which one did you do?
I did the first one.
The general magnetizing?
Yeah. I did want to share a story about the first time I did the one person one though, if that's fine.
Yeah,
It was
please.
just like a neat story. So it was my very first time doing money magic, and when I did the magnetizing just a single person, I had a name come to me. And the name was Scott, and I didn't know anybody named Scott, so I thought that that was super interesting. And it was like a completion. Like once I heard the name, it was that complete feeling that they talk about in like the first part. And so I just left it and I was like, oh, eventually maybe I'll meet somebody named Scott. And at the time I was working on building my cleaning business, and I was really wanting to meet or like get into commercial cleaning, I thought. So I was at a client's house and she had someone working on a bathroom remodel. She's like, I want to introduce you to him. He's a really nice guy. He walks out and he's like, hey, I've heard a lot about you. My name is Scott. And I about shit my pants.
That's amazing.
And I just like kind of got like big eyed and was like, really nice to meet you. So then when he left, before he left, he exchanged information with me because he was like, I am looking for somebody to come in and do my cleanup for me when my jobs are done. So I did one job with him and realized that I didn't want to do commercial cleaning after that. And then that was it.
But you have to try it out.
But hey, you learned something and you magnetized successfully.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's
It was
Amazing.
pretty cool.
Thank you for sharing that. Did anybody else get to do any of these or have like a previous one that you've like Bridget had a previous share from a different time she read it? I'm trying to think if I have like a specific one from like Bridget's was very specific. I've magnetized so much in the last couple of years that I'm trying to remember a specific one. If I think of one, I'll share it for sure. I think the one that we're not going to do these as a group tonight because I want to stay on track as far as like getting enough read together. But the group magnetizing one is different than magnetizing a number of people. So there's general magnetizing, which is drawing something, an object or a sum of money or an experience to you. And then there's magnetizing a single person. And then there's magnetizing a number of people, which maybe we should do that for like the micro school situation. And then the group magnetizing is where you get together with a group and each person in the group, everyone is magnetizing for that one person. And then you move on, and then the whole group magnetizes for the next person, and then the whole group magnetizes for the next person. And that can take us a good amount of time depending on the group size. But I got to do that experience with a previous group and it was really powerful. So maybe we can add like an extra call or an additional call and do that one together with whoever wants to do that and is available. But tonight we're going to start section 2. This is developing mastery. And chapter 5 is called Following Your Inner Guidance. If anybody wants a turn reading, you can just raise your hand digitally or in person, and we'll each read 2 pages. Tonight, the goal, well, we'll just see it, how far we get, but I'd like to get through 2 chapters and possibly both exercises. So it's, yeah, I think we can do that. Cool. All right, following your inner guidance. Learn to listen to your inner guidance. After you have worked with energy and magnetized what you want, your inner guidance will lead you in the quickest, simplest way. When you listen to and act upon your guidance, you follow your natural flow of energy. It is that effortless, easy flow that leads you to all the things you have been asking for. Inner guidance comes from your higher self and speaks to you in the form of feelings, insights, and inner knowing. Inner guidance brings you information from sources other than those that can be detected by your physical senses. By getting quiet and listening to your thoughts and feelings, you can tap into a much larger spectrum of information that is ordinarily thought to be available. As your thoughts about what you want go out into the universe, your higher self looks over past, present, and future events. It views the connections and the situations that will need to be created for you to have what you ask for. It then finds the best way to bring them to you. It begins drawing you to certain people, opportunities, and events. It creates opportunities for you to meet people who might assist you and will also benefit from knowing you, for the universe works for the greater good of all. Your feelings signal what actions to take. Your willingness to be spontaneous, follow inner urges and hunches, and listen to strong feelings and act upon them will lead you to your goals. I trust and follow my inner guidance. Inner guidance directs you to your higher good. Learning to distinguish inner guidance from wishful or fearful thinking is one of your challenges. If an urge feels joyful or delightful to follow, it probably comes from your inner guidance. If the results you are hoping for seem too good to be true, or if you suspect yourself of wishful thinking, it is probably not inner guidance. Honor your inner sense and spend time checking out the details. Ask, is this my true inner guidance? Does it feel right or good, or am I just hoping? Since your soul speaks to you through your feelings and thoughts, the more you are aware of them, the easier it will be to hear and develop your inner guidance. If your thoughts or feelings are unusual for the circumstance, pay attention to them. You develop your inner guidance when you act upon your inner messages and get feedback. For instance, as you are getting ready to go to a store, you might have the thought or feeling you ought to call first to see if it is open. You don't usually have this feeling or thought, you simply go. In this case, you call and check only to find the store is closed for remodeling. As you get in the habit of paying attention to and acting on your feelings and thoughts, it will get easier to distinguish between what is inner guidance and what is not. To manifest things easily, even before you know you need them, follow your feelings and inner messages. Start in small ways by saying no when you mean no and yes when you mean yes. Would anybody else like to read?
I can go.
Thanks.
Did you say 2 pages?
Yes, please.
Ask yourself throughout the day, is this what I feel like doing? Is this the lightest and most joyful activity for me, and am I making myself do it because I think I have to? Trust that your feelings of joy, delight, and self-love are always leading you towards your higher good. There are several kinds of inner guidance. One kind is a negative sense or even a warning about an action you are thinking of taking. Another kind gives you insights about future paths or directions you might choose. Another helps you be in the right place at the right time, creating through coincidences and synchronicity the events you need to get you where you are going as easily as possible. The kind of inner guidance that gives you warning signals usually comes through your emotions and is often experienced as a feeling of anxiety or an uncomfortable feeling in the pit of your stomach. You might have decided to take an action but feel tense and anxious thinking about it. If so, pay attention. It may not be the right action for you to take at this time. You can develop your awareness of this kind of guidance by knowing how you normally feel and paying attention to unusual anxiety or nervousness. Your challenge will be to learn the difference between your normal fears and the inner emotional messages that are your higher guidance. I spend quiet, reflective time. I hear my inner guidance. Inner guidance about your future path and directions often come to you when you're in a quiet, reflective state, performing activities that take you out of the normal awareness. This kind of guidance can be a thought, feeling, picture, or a daydream of what you would like to be doing. It may grow and build on itself each time you get quiet. You can develop this kind of guidance by giving yourself more time to sit quietly, relaxing your body, and reflecting on your life. Performing creative or athletic activities can also trigger this kind of intuition. You may get sudden and unexpected insights in your life while you are painting, drawing, playing, or creating music, running, or swimming. Take action on this guidance. If you constantly avoid acting on the guidance you get, it will become harder and harder to hear or recognize your future guidance. When you get an idea, don't overanalyze it, asking, is this going to create a new path, be profitable, or support me for the rest of my life? Ideas are like seeds. When they first come up, you often don't know what they're going to grow into. Just keep following your joyful impulses, and your ideas will unfold into the forms that best serve you. I am always in the right place at the right time. The kind of inner guidance that leads you to being in the right place at the right time comes from knowing your normal thoughts and paying attention to those that are different. For instance, you usually drive a certain route to work, but one day you have a thought to drive a different way. You may have had the same thought before, but this day you recognize that there is a sense of urgency about it. You go the new way, and as you drive, you hear on the radio about a traffic jam along the route you normally take. There will be a subtlety, different quality or feeling to those thoughts that are coming from your higher guidance. You can learn to recognize what is inner guidance and what isn't by taking action on those subtle feelings and thoughts and by observing the results.
Thank you. Anybody else want to read?
I will.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Though. As another example, you've been wanting to buy a certain item, but you've been unable to find it. You may have spent several days calling all around, checking the internet, or shopping at many stores to no avail. One day you get a picture in your mind of a certain store and a feeling to go there, even though it isn't a store you normally shop at. You pay attention to this unusual urge and go to the store. The item you have been looking for has just arrived and you're able to purchase it. And looking back, you realize you do not have a real urge or picture to go to all the other stores you checked out. You might have gone shopping because you have hoped what you wanted would be there, ignoring the fact that your feeling and pictures were not guiding you to those stores. Sometimes it is better to wait and take no action until you have a feeling, thought, or picture about what action to take. Waiting for guidance on what action to take eliminates unnecessary work and helps you be in the right place at the right time, creating things you want easily and effortlessly. Think of something you want. Are there any actions that come to mind that you could take to get what you want? It may be something very simple, such as making a phone call or checking out a store or internet site that comes to mind if you want to buy something. Are you willing to take that action? Decide when you will do it. If you receive no guidance at this time, be willing not to take any action, but follow your joy from moment to moment. Pay more attention than usual to your thoughts about this item, so that when a picture of what action to take comes, you will be aware of it. Take the time, every time you think of what you want, to get quiet and notice what pictures come to mind of action you want to take. Your soul's urges, true inner guidance hunches, are concerned with something you are already familiar with, directly or indirectly. These urges give you both the ideas and the momentum to carry them out. If you have a sudden urge to do something that you know nothing about and that would take months to do properly, and you don't have the time, it is probably a passing fancy, not inner guidance. The actions your inner guidance urges you to take are the logical next steps for you, or are the steps you can carry out with knowledge you now have. Sometimes you will have an urge to acquire new information, and later the guidance to take action based on that information will come. True inner guidance brings with it all the enthusiasm, energy, and resources you need to carry it out. There is a sudden urgency connected with such directives. You are given plenty of time to carry them out at a pace that is comfortable for you. One way to develop and hear your inner guidance is to look back at past successes and ask, what feelings and thoughts did I have at the time I made that decision to take action? Think of something you bought that you feel was an excellent purchase. Can you remember how you felt about buying it? Even though you may have had moments of indecision, there may have been an inner knowledge, knowing that guided you. If you go back and view your decisions to spend money on something that did not work out well, you'll probably be able to remember that your inner sense was different from when you were pleased with what you bought. If a situation occurs that you don't like, you can look back and examine what feelings or thoughts you may have had that were trying to lead you in another direction. You are constantly receiving guidance from your higher self about how to achieve results in the simplest, most joyful way possible. Be very alert to hear this guidance. Develop the habit of paying close attention to your thoughts and feelings before you act. Get to know how you normally think and feel so you can recognize subtle changes. As you do, you will become more alert and aware of the guidance you are constantly receiving.
Thank you. Anybody else want to read? Anybody on Zoomy Zoom feel like reading?
I heard you say that in the car.
Zoomy Zoom. All right, I'll read some more. Whenever you feel a heaviness, a resistance, or a reluctance to continue, it is a sign that you are not following your highest path. Your higher self speaks to you by making you feel joyful when you follow your higher path, and resistance and heavy when you don't. If you are forcing yourself to do things according to a list of shoulds, you are not listening to the deeper part of your being. Your soul rarely says, you must do this, you should do that. Your soul says, isn't this delightful? Doesn't this bring you great joy? Wouldn't you love to do more of it? You have all experienced times when you resisted taking an action but didn't know why, and later found out that the act was unnecessary or inappropriate. You may have had a project to do and resisted working on it. Following your inner guidance and feelings of joy, you put it aside and worked on something else. Later that day or that week, you might have received a call and found out that the situation had changed, the project was no longer necessary, or a different action was required. If you had forced yourself to work on the project, you would have had to do it all over again. It is good to temporarily set aside all the activities you have been telling yourself you should do and ask yourself what you would like to do. By following your inner guidance and joyful feelings, you save yourself unnecessary work. I honor myself in everything I do. Some resistance can be self-sabotage. It comes from feeling that you aren't worthy of having more than you have. If you know deep inside that a healthier diet, exercise, handling an issue, or some other course of action would truly benefit you, but you resist, you may need to learn to honor yourself more. Rather than confronting the bigger issues immediately, first take small actions that honor you. Think of something really nurturing and luxurious you would like to do for yourself. Perhaps you would like to soak in a warm bath, buy flowers for your house, or take a half hour for yourself every day. Taking the time to do nurturing activities gives your subconscious a message that you are a worthy person who deserves to have your goals met. I love that so much.
Me too.
Just going to highlight that real quick. It will be easier to do some of the larger steps that honor you if you build up to them by doing smaller steps. And it will be easier to follow your inner directions that emerge once you build a habit of honoring your deeper needs and feelings. There will be times when your inner guidance will say, I want to work all day. It feels so good to accomplish all that I am accomplishing. Your inner guidance will not always lead you to instant gratification. It often pursues a longer range sense of inner accomplishment and satisfaction. Inner guidance speaks in many different ways, but always through a sense of self-love and feeling good about what you are doing. If you are forcing yourself to do something, such as working at a job out of obligation or spending money because you feel you have to, you are not listening to your inner guidance. If you are in a job where you must force yourself to do many tasks you don't want to do, look at the larger picture. Why are you in a job that doesn't allow you to do what you enjoy doing? If you love your job and most of what you are doing but dislike several tasks, look again at those areas. There may be a better way to do them, perhaps a better procedure, a different job division between you and a coworker, or ways your family, children, or friends could help. Pay attention to your negative feelings. They have messages for you about how your situation could be better. You do not honor yourself by working for hours at activities that are not joyful. If you do what is joyful, you may find that all the jobs you are forcing yourself to do to make money are no longer necessary. You will also discover that you make more money in the long run by doing what you love than by doing what you don't love. The more you feel joyful when you do things and follow your urges, hunches, and higher vision, the more quickly and easily you will get what you ask for. As you follow your higher path, the more you will find everything working in miraculous and easy ways. This is not to say that you won't be challenged, for challenges help you to gain strength and confidence. Your dreams will come true as you follow your feelings of joy, delight, and self-love. Comments, questions? How are we feeling about that chapter? Good reminders? Yeah. I always replace the word inner guidance with intuition. Like those, I feel like inner guidance and intuition can be used interchangeably. Emma, I still have your hat here at Cozy Corner.
Oh, no, I get it back.
Oh, you did? Okay, never mind. Hi. Okay, so now we're gonna do the linking up with the higher forces exercise, and this will be kind of like a meditation. So if you want to lay down or get comfortable or anything, you can do that, and I'll read it out loud for you guys. But if you want your eyes open and you want to follow along in your book, you can do that too. So you do not have to do this exercise frequently. You do it whenever you want to feel more connected to your inner guidance or your intuition from your higher self or soul, and to the current of humanity's evolution, or to strengthen your link to the higher forces of the universe. Some people would even consider this like a prayer. Every time you do this exercise, you are building a bridge of light upward. Doing this exercise before you magnetize something that is big or that represents a quantum leap for you will add to your power to attract it. First, find a quiet time alone where the Christmas law is not playing Christmas music. I'm going to put on just a little bit of insight timer music, and we'll hear that. I don't think anybody on Zoom can hear it, but just a second here.
Today, my 8:30 meditation class,
Yeah.
the leaf blower guy.
Oh
my
no,
gosh.
not the leaf blower.
For like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, God, it was so
Sometimes the train will come by and I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, there's a little bit of that. All right, close your eyes and envision yourself building a bridge of light upward to the higher planes of reality. You might picture a beam of light coming out of the top of your head and going straight up as high as you can imagine. Imagine that you are connecting with the source of all life, drinking in energy and light until every cell in your body is aglow with light and energy. Picture your mind as a clear mountain lake, with every cell clearly reflecting the higher planes of reality. Imagine that every thought and every cell in your mind is now linked to God, Goddess, the all that is. As you keep imagining this link, you are creating it as real. Imagine that you are aligning your will with the higher will. You might envision a cord of light coming out of your solar plexus, the area above your navel, and linking with the source of all life you connected with in step 2. Picture this source of energy as a golden globe of energy and light 6 inches above your head. Slowly bring this globe of light down through your body, letting it align all the energy in your body with its higher light. Keep moving it through your body until you are standing on it. Envision it beaming light and energy from below your feet back up through you. Then bring it back up through your body and let it sit about 6 inches above your head. Visualize your soul as a radiant sphere of light or a cool blue flame, or in any way that it appears to you. You may not have any visual or other sense of your soul. That is fine. It always responds to your call whether or not you can see or feel it. Imagine the brilliance of your soul's light growing steadily brighter, growing larger and larger as you are filled with the energy of your soul. Ask your soul for a deeper, more conscious connection to it, and to end any sense of separation from it. Your soul always hears your sincere requests and will immediately begin helping you to have a stronger connection to its guidance and direction, and to know your oneness with it. Now bring your awareness and attention to the top of your head and imagine that you have an antenna. This energy center is where telepathic communication from the higher dimensions occurs. You can receive any broadcast you wish by intending to do so and using your imagination to establish the link. There is a telepathic broadcast of humanity's path of highest evolution. Mentally adjust your imaginary antenna to pick up this broadcast. As you do, you will be aligning your actions with the current of humanity's evolution. All that you manifest will be more in alignment with your and others' higher purpose. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and enjoy the feeling of connection to the higher realms. Be imaginative with this exercise and create new pictures and images to strengthen your connection to the higher realms. As you imagine this connection, you are creating it as your reality. We have used many images. Remember that they are designed to give you an experience of the higher energies and your soul. What is most important is your experience of the connection and not the images we have used. After you have felt this connection, you can recreate it any way you want, using whatever images, thoughts, or pictures help you achieve it. So basically, if you didn't see a blue flame, you saw a glowing sun, that's okay. The imagery is just a suggestion, really. We get through that okay with the? Okay, good.
I like the ball. Like
The ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the globe.
Not the globe, yeah, that's really.
Yeah. Sometimes I almost imagine the light as having like a watery texture to it to like flow. Yeah, like a fountain or like a faucet kind of thing. Very good. Okay, moving on to chapter 6, allowing success. This is one of my favorite chapters, and it's pretty short and sweet. Does anybody want to read?
I can read, Melissa.
Oh, thanks, Jessica.
All right. As you magnetize what you want and follow your inner guidance, you will want to allow success into your life so you can receive what you have asked for. Mastering manifesting involves learning to make the choices and decisions that hold the most light for you and put you onto your higher path. As you choose the path of most light, you are also choosing success at its highest levels. You create the reality you experience by the choices and decisions you make. What you have and where you are today are the results of all the choices and decisions you have made. Many of your choices have been passive, made without conscious examination. Many have been based on your past programming rather than on your new, unlimited thinking. You can begin now to make more conscious, aware choices. Acknowledge that where you are today is a result of your past choices, and realize that at every moment you are truly creating your reality. If you are not happy with what you have created so far, you can learn to make different choices and change your life into one that brings you joy, aliveness, or whatever else you want. I always choose the path of most light. Some choices are subtle, but there is usually one alternative that carries more light, one that will put you on a slightly higher path and help you express your essence more clearly than the others. By choosing your higher path, you will accelerate your growth, aliveness, and abundance. It is important to develop your ability to discriminate and choose the path of most light to create abundance in your life. One woman who had been making jewelry for a long time decided that she wanted to distribute her jewelry to a larger market by putting it in stores across the country. Her jewelry contained many
Esoteric.
esoteric
Yeah.
symbols. Thank you, Melissa. I'm like, whoa.
I know, it's a
Esoteric
crazy
symbols.
word.
It's like, I haven't read that before. And she wanted it to be widely available to people who would be assisted by wearing the healing symbols. She thought of getting friends to help her distribute the jewelry, but every time she started in that direction, it seemed difficult and her heart wasn't in it. It would require financial resources and skills she didn't have and would leave her no time to make new jewelry. Because that path didn't seem joyful, she rejected it and asked for inner guidance about a better way. She got the idea to ask stores how they bought other people's jewelry. She discovered that an entire distribution system already existed, complete with sales representatives who were happy to handle her jewelry. She found the highest path by making choices and decisions that supported doing what she loved. When you have a choice to make and the higher option is not immediately obvious, ask yourself a series of questions. If all choices look equally good, ask which decision holds the most joy for me, which seems to call to my heart as something I would love to do. Then pick the option that brings you the most joy, even if the joyful path does not appear to promise you as much money. In the long run, it will be far more profitable than the choice that isn't as joyful. Don't make your choice based on how much money it appears you will make. Following the path of your heart will always bring you more abundance.
Thank you. Did you still want to read?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
If all choices seem equally joyful, ask, which choice makes the most sense to follow and is the most practical for me right now? Your highest path will always make practical sense. If the choices are still equal, ask, which choice makes the greatest contribution to humanity or allows me the greatest opportunity to serve others? If both choices still look equal, think of the higher qualities you want to create in your life, such as well-being, love, and aliveness. Which choice allows you to express these qualities more fully? It is wiser not to put yourself in a position where you have to make immediate decisions without time to thoroughly think things out. If you do find yourself in a situation where you need to make a decision quickly, imagine that you are holding one choice in your right hand and one in your left hand. Ask the hand that holds the higher choice to raise itself. I honor my integrity in all that I do. The purity and integrity of your energy is very important, for your integrity guides you to create things that are in harmony with the deepest part of your being. Your integrity leads you to the choices and situations that are prosperous for you. You know when you are maintaining your integrity and when you are not. If you feel that you are compromising your ideals, such as doing something for money that does not feel comfortable to you, you are not operating within your integrity. Honor your integrity and you will be repaid many times over with increased prosperity. It is important to feel good about everything you do, to act upon your values, to be honest with people you deal with, and to come from your truth. Your integrity challenges you to look at what is real and important to you, and to choose that over illusions, promises, and other people's desires. Come from your highest ideals, follow your own wisdom over another person's, and do things in ways that honor you and feel right to you. Honor everyone you deal with and hold everything you do up to the light of your soul. Your energy and being are your gifts to the world. The more your energy is clear and flowing, the more you have to give to others. Money that you create from your integrity is money of light that will bring good to you and others. I am success. I allow myself to feel successful. Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
To develop your mastery of abundance more quickly, start by recognizing how successful you already are at creating what you want and honoring your integrity and at making good choices. Build on what you know you can do. Thank and love yourself for the strength and vision you have right now. Take a moment to tell yourself you are already a success. You can feel successful right now without depending on meeting certain goals to give that feeling to you. You can recognize all the wonderful things you all are already doing in your life. Success comes from feeling successful in the present moment. It is not something you may feel someday when you have reached a goal or something you want. Don't think that large sums of money will create that feeling for you. People with a lot of money rarely feel successful unless they have learned how to appreciate themselves and feel successful from within.
Thank you. Anybody want to read? Okay, my turn. Thank you. Rather than define success in terms of the concrete things it might represent to you, such as how much money you would have in the bank, what type of house you would live in, or what type of car you would drive, be willing to expand your definition of success to include the goals of your higher self. True success is having the right amount of money, transforming an old habit or a negative belief, releasing a fear, doing things you love, and developing and recognizing your special talents. From a higher point of view, success is creating something when you need it, making a contribution to others, and loving and respecting yourself and others. It is growing and learning from all your experiences. Look at others as successful not by how rich they are, but by the quality and happiness of their lives. As you focus on these higher qualities of success, you will realize that in terms of your higher self, you have already achieved many successes, even if you haven't yet met the specific financial goals set by your personality. I congratulate myself often. The essence of success for most people is a feeling of self-love, self-esteem, or self-worth. See if you can capture that feeling for a moment. Say to yourself, I am a success. How does it feel? Can you capture that feeling for several moments and let it radiate throughout your body? Acknowledge all the successful things you are doing right now. As you acknowledge your success in other areas, it becomes easier to view yourself as successful with money. Your body is your vehicle for manifestation, for it creates the actions that bring your thoughts and emotions into form. As you bring the feeling of success into your body more frequently, this feeling will draw further success to you in every area of your life. Appreciate where you are now. Rather than focusing on how far you have to go, appreciate how far you have come. As you look at the long-term goals you want to create, it is good to define small, discernible steps along the way. Then, as you reach each step, you can tell yourself, congratulations, job well done. I have come a long way toward my goal. When you reach a goal you have been striving for, give yourself a reward before you look to the next goal. Some people look ahead to the next mountain to climb without taking time to appreciate the one they have just climbed. They never have the satisfied feeling they are looking for. Acknowledge your success, for as you do, you will build upon them. View yourself as successful in the past as well as in the present and future. Think of a time in the past when you felt like a success. Remember those circumstances and feelings. The more you remember past successes, the more you will create success in the future. Look back at how you have handled yourself in the past and see that there was higher wisdom in all of your choices. Some choices led you to grow, some led you to change your life, and all were the best you knew how to make at the time. Even though you may not have understood why you made certain choices, those choices still assisted you. As you look back from the perspective of your now wiser self, you can see that even choices you thought were bad taught you much and made you the person you are today. If you are not happy with your circumstances right now, realize that you can make new choices from now on and begin to change your circumstances for the better. I forgive myself, knowing that I did the best I knew how at the time. I love that. Okay, who wants to read? 2 more pages in this chapter.
I'll read again.
Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Forgive yourself when you look back into the past and think of things like, I didn't spend my money wisely. I should have bought that property and now I'd have lots of money. I shouldn't have made that investment. That didn't turn out well. I shouldn't have lent that money to a friend. I knew I'd never get it back. Those kinds of thoughts can hold you back from greater abundance. Drop your pictures of times in the past when situations didn't work out as well as you wanted. If those thoughts arise, do not pay attention to them, but think instead of when you did spend your money wisely, were happy with what you got, made a good return on your money, or were paid back in full by a friend. As you forgive and love your past self, focus on all the times you have succeeded. You change the course of your future. Sorry, I need that right there. In a second.
I know, I've been underlining the whole paragraph.
Yeah. Take a moment and look at your childhood messages. How did your parents spend money? Did they buy things for themselves? Did they enjoy their money? Or did they struggle to have enough? Did they talk freely with you about how much they earned, or was money a forbidden topic? How did they spend on you? Did you feel that your wishes counted? Can you see a connection between the way you relate to money now and the relationship your parents had to money? Did your parents allow themselves to spend and earn money in ways that brought them aliveness, happiness, well-being, and self-love? Give myself permission to have what I want. Children are accustomed to receiving things from their parents, and many people expect to receive from the universe in the way they receive from their parents. If your parents were generous in giving, you may believe in a generous and giving universe. If your parents denied you many of the things you wanted, you may still be denying yourself the things you want. You may be acting as if you are wanting for some invisible parent or outside authority to decide whether or not you can have what you want. Are you acting as if the universe is your parent? Be the parent that would now be appropriate for you to have, and give yourself permission to have whatever you want. You can create a new personal history for yourself, focusing on all the times you were successful and did have a measure of abundance. Let go of stories of your past that do not support the new picture of success and abundance you are creating. The images you hold of the past often put limits on the future you can imagine for yourself, and thus keep you from manifesting your greater potential. To release the past, look at the stories you have been telling yourself and others about your childhood and money. Do you tell people that you had abundance or scarcity? Perhaps you tell about the times when there wasn't enough food, or perhaps you tell tales about how your parents spent money but didn't buy things for you. Start by looking at the aspects of your personal history you emphasize with others. For every experience you had, you also had an experience that was nearly its opposite. There were times you had wonderful meals and times you got things you really wanted that had value to you. What financial history would you like to have? Begin to make a new history for yourself. Reconstruct your childhood with memories of prosperity and getting what you wanted. What would you like to tell people your childhood was like? For instance, you might want to tell people, my parents spent money very wisely. Money was not an issue in our family. We always had enough. As you say this, you will probably remember times when money really wasn't an issue and you really did have enough. You've had the elements of every experience with money. You have had the experience of feeling abundant, even if it just for a moment. Perhaps you got a beautiful toy that you wanted. Perhaps somebody gave you an unexpected gift of money, or you received more than you asked for. The more you capture that sense of joy, enthusiasm, and appreciation, the more good things you will attract in your future. Love getting there as much as being there.
Thank you. See why I love this chapter? It's just like, I don't know, I love it so much. So we're gonna do the play sheet together real quick, and we're gonna do it out loud if you're comfortable, kind of just like a discussion. I think it helps like amplify it and bring it into existence. And if you're not sure, you can just say, I don't really know about that. So right now we're gonna picture something that we don't have yet. And if you're on Zoom, you can put it in the chat or you can say it out loud. What is something whenever you think of it, you can say it out loud and write it down. Something that you want and you don't have yet. A garage. That's a good one.
You were talking about that earlier.
I know, yeah.
I know.
Mine is freedom to travel.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's ours. Yeah.
Freedom to travel for y'all too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Mine is having my own home again, owning my own home again.
Owning a home, love that. Maria said full classes. Heather said a new MacBook. Yeah. I want a new house. I want a new house pretty significantly.
Melissa, I have notes from the last time I did this. And for this one, I wrote down to build a team of at least 5. I've done that.
Yay!
A boat. And we got that.
Buy a boat. Oh my gosh, you did both of those.
That's weird.
That's amazing.
It's fun.
It works. It really works. Anybody else want to share something they want that they don't have yet? I think that was almost everybody.
I have my notes from last time too.
Oh, you do? What'd you put last time?
Full-time career.
Here you go.
That's the worst.
Working full time.
Go time.
Yeah, right.
I put property on 5 acres last time. That has not happened, but who knows? I know, right? This is actually my husband's copy that I took last time, but my 3 or 4 reads before this, I wish I knew where that book was. All right, so now we're going to think of all the reasons you're now closer to getting what you want than you have ever been. And if you think of some ideas, you can shout them out.
For me, it's because I know now that this is where I actually want to be and stay.
Yeah,
Because for the last year and a half, I've been toggling with, do I want to go back to Fort Worth or do I want to stay here because I don't have any friends?
yeah.
But this lovely soul came into my life.
Yay.
Anyways,
We saved each other.
You're closer because you know Amber.
For me, it's having made a decision to stay here and
Yeah.
start looking in neighborhoods and actually finding neighborhoods that I'm in love with.
Yep,
I just gotta pick one.
love that. Knowing the location is great.
Yes.
I had written down before that I know realtors. That's why I'm closer. I'm saving money, I'm spending less money, and I'm getting clearer on what I want. So if you guys are like, oh, I don't know if I'm any closer, like get real basic. I'm closer because I'm reading Creating Money.
Right.
Right.
I'm
yeah.
closer because I've decided that's what I want. Same thing like you said for the houses, we've been looking at neighborhoods, so that could be a closer thing too. Some ideas for like getting closer to freedom to travel, knowing like if your kids are going to be taken care of, or you have a house sitter or a pet sitter, like you have those kinds of things squared away, or like if you own a business, you have somebody that can watch your business for you while you travel, or you know a travel agent, like those are all good things that are closer. So now take a moment and experience what success feels like to you. You might recall a past or present success, or imagine what a future success might feel like. Let it become as physical and as emotional an experience as you can. Find the posture and breathing that success brings for you. Breathe in that success for a few moments. Congratulate yourself on all the things that you can think of that you are doing well right now. So does anybody have any successful experiences they want to share? It could be a specific experience, or it could be like what it feels like for you and your body. It could be either one.
Booked a hotel room today
Nice.
for some of our travels. And
Awesome.
Yeah.
and it was like it was upgraded. Like basically, I got a much better hotel, completely comp. So it was pretty cool. It was a great feeling.
That is
Yeah. I know I haven't got to hear all about it yet.
That's
Right on the door,
exciting.
so.
nice.
I would call that feeling excited.
Yeah.
Like some
Yeah, for
success
sure.
feels exciting.
Yeah.
And my goal is for the full classes, right? I want my yoga studio full, and I've had that twice now.
Yay!
With some special events, so I know how it feels to have a full room.
Yeah.
And I can get emotional thinking about it, but it is overwhelming, and I'd say I know
Yeah.
how it feels to have that as an everyday thing, and I can't wait to feel it every day.
Yeah. So exciting, overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
For me, a feeling of success that I can recall several times is when I've reached this accomplishment of just feeling like relief and peace within.
Yes.
Like I made it to this place that I've been striving for.
Yeah.
Arrival. I love that word. Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it.
Like the climb is over. I'm at the top now.
Yep.
I've reached the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Melissa, I was thinking success. I just completed 3 months on the low histamine diet without cheating.
Whoa!
That's freaking hard.
Yeah.
That's not an easy diet.
Yeah, I think I lasted 3 weeks. You're an inspiration. That's low histamine. That's really hard. Did you eat the same like 5 foods, Cindy?
Maybe 10, but yeah, a lot of repetition.
Maybe 10. I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
I'm proud of me too, because when I started this, I was like, there is no way I can sustain life like this.
Right. So you're done now. You don't have to do it anymore?
No, I still do. I'm
Oh.
starting to introduce some foods back in,
Smart.
and then I'll still have to stay on it forever, but
Yeah.
I don't have to be so restrictive.
Strict. Yeah. That's really good. So some of the things I had written down before are gratitude, like a feeling of gratitude sometimes comes with success, or like connection or teamwork, like feeling supported and celebrating together. Like there's rarely a success that maybe not for everybody, but for me, I'm like, I don't want to just keep this to myself. Like I want to celebrate it with everybody else, because it's more often than not, it took several people to get there. Or like the success benefits more than one person too. So connection, teamwork. Yeah, so those are all, the more time that we can spend feeling like that, the better. So I should have done this yesterday when I was having the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Just like sit down and write times where you felt the opposite of how you're currently feeling. Like, I know I can feel that way again. So number 4 says, one way that you can allow success is by telling yourself your personal history in a way that emphasizes all the good experiences that you've had. You can play the following game alone or with friends, like a book club at Cozy Corner, and you come up with answers in 3 minutes or less. As you describe your past in a new way, that becomes your new reality. So this is perfect because we have 3 minutes left in the book club. You can write this down so we can stick to the time, but it says, tell your personal history as if you grew up with great abundance. Pick actual incidences, focusing only on times when you felt abundant, got what you wanted, or experienced your parents as abundant. You will be amazed at how many times you can remember when you did feel abundant. Next, you're going to tell your personal history from the perspective of how you know that you've always been divinely guided, as if you have always had a guardian angel. Think of 2 or 3 incidences where you were divinely guided. And then last, tell your personal history from the perspective of how easily you've created things you wanted, perhaps remembering a time when you wanted something and it appeared quickly without any effort on your part.
I have to tell y'all something.
Go ahead.
I actually manifested the job that I have.
Yeah.
And this is my 23rd year.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I remember like being really in an unhappy place. Like stayed home with my son 3 years and I was re-entering the workforce and I did not want the kind of jobs I had before. And I remember thinking in my head exactly saying, I want a job in human resources at an insurance company. That is literally
What
where
you
my
have.
career started. That's not where I'm at now,
Yeah.
but that is where it started.
Yeah.
And then after I got that job, there was this house on the same street that we lived on in Hurst, Texas at the time. I was still when I was married. I loved it so much. I had a mother-in-law suite. I wanted my nanny to live with us so bad so she could take care of my son for me after school.
Yeah.
I would literally, while she was in the car or my sister who's passed, we would drive by the house all the time and I would pull into the driveway and I would be like, come on, let's get out, and just playing around, being silly. The house was never even for sale. I bought the house.
Whoa.
I got the house and that's the house that we lived in and my nanny was able to live with us in the house in the mother-in-law suite and she took care of my
That's
son after school for me
awesome.
all the way up until he went to junior high.
That's
And
very
it's
cool.
like, I didn't realize, I didn't know anything about manifesting then, but
Yeah.
You were doing it.
yeah,
But you
and
were
now
doing
I-
it.
Guided.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I look back now, I'm like, oh my God. So you don't even have to be like intentionally trying to do it. Just
Right.
It's just the actions, putting that, you know what I'm saying?
The
And it's
intention
like,
and
yes.
the trust, yeah, and it can be effortless for real.
It's like
It
law
really
of
can.
attraction, right? It's
Yes.
like
Yes.
putting yourself like having something and then
Yep.
you attract it.
Yep. So it says, see how good it feels to focus on the areas of your past that worked for you. The more you focus on the abundance you had in the past, the more prosperity that you will create in the future. Energy follows thought. Whatever you pay attention to grows and increases. If you pay attention to your past successes, you will create a successful, positive future for yourself. So I encourage everybody to share in the group chat as often as you can, like little successes, big successes, something that happened 10 years ago. But the more we spend time focusing on those successful things, even if it's somebody else's, it'll prompt us to feel that too, because it'll kind of jog our memory on things too. So I missed y'all last week. Missed y'all when we took a break, but we'll meet again next week, and next week we'll try to get 2 chapters done. So next week we'll read Transforming Your Beliefs with a play sheet and Letting Money Flow with a play sheet, and those are actually pretty short chapters, so we might be able to finish coming out of survival too, because that's a pretty, we'll see how it goes and see how much we get done. We have 3 more meetings in December, maybe 2. Is there 2 or 3 more in December? 2. We meet 2 more times in December, and then we'll do a little bit on our own over Christmas and New Year's, and then we'll meet one last time on the 8th. So
And then does it continue on to another book or is this just like?
I would love to do another book. I was actually talking today about Atomic Habits. I think that one would be a
That's one
really
I
good
think
one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I haven't read
Life
that one.
changing.
It did change my life. I have.
And I feel like if you read it a second or a third or a fourth time, like you'll get more nuggets, just like this
Did you
one.
read it?
I
Okay,
started
we did, yeah.
listening to it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the one I have my eye on, but I would like to continue these.
Okay, good.
And then after this, we're having our sound bath tonight. So if you want to stay, you're more than welcome. If you're online, I'm going to go live on my personal Facebook page. And we'll see y'all next week.
Awesome.
Good night.
Thank you so much.